I just gave the best interview of my life, and I will be doing this for all interviews as long as I live. So the interviews started out like pretty normal, like, hey, we got 30 minutes. Like, I'm definitely going to talk to you about the role and what we're doing over here at company name. But, first I'd really like to hear a little bit about you. At which point I normally start with an introduction and I'm like, hi, I'm Liz. Born and raised in Southern California, moved to Boston 7 years ago, broke into tech sales 5 years ago. And then I kind of one by one go through each company on my resume. And because I've job hopped a lot, I feel like it opens the door for conversations I don't want to have. So I did something new today, and I said, I am happy to share anything about myself during this interview. I do want to know, though, what you're most interested in learning about me, because it really varies from person to person and company to company what they're looking to hear. And since we only have 30 minutes, I want to make sure I'm telling you what's most important to you. And he looked a little bit like, oh shit. But then what it allowed me to do, because his response was, hey, I know you've sold a similar product to this before. I really want to hear about your experience selling tools in the software development space. And then all I did was talk about the really two and a half companies I worked at where the, ideal customer persona, the ideal persona I was selling to was like a VP of engineering, VP of QA, CTO. And then I never talked about the ugly points in my career, was even questioned about them, because we were having such a rich conversation about what he wanted to talk about. I also just think it's such a good question because it's a pattern interruption where you're like, I'm happy to talk about myself, but what do you want to learn? And that is also how you should think about selling, right? Like, people get on the demo and they're like, I just want to see what you have. And you're like, okay, but I can talk about anything. What do you want to hear about? And I just candidly think I'm a fucking genius. I'm a fucking genius.